Hi, so I wanted to take a few minutes just to show you around the course and how to navigate everything as you move forward. So when you come into our course, you will be on the home page. But before we get into talking about our course specifically, I want to draw your attention to a couple of the icons on the left menu. The first one is the calendar. If you click on that, you will have a calendar populated with your due dates for your various classes, so that you might find that useful for managing your time. The second is Canvas Inbox. Using inbox is the easiest, fastest way to get in touch with me and probably most of your professors. I will often send you messages through inbox. So I just wanted to draw your attention to it so that you would keep it in mind and remember to keep an eye on it regularly. All right, now for getting into the homepage of our course. On our homepage, pretty basic setup. You have a few icons. Start here will take you to the orientation module. The syllabus button will take you to the syllabus, and the course modules will take you to course modules, and we will look at the course modules a little more closely in just a few moments. I encourage you to look through the syllabus carefully, especially to make sure that you are aware of the attendance policy, the late work policy, how your courses, your course grades are calculated and assignments are broken down. I also encourage you to watch the welcome video and then this navigation video you'll find just below this once it's completed. Should you ever have questions, if you click this link, if it's a question that might be applicable to the entire class, not something very specific to you, you can post it at the Ask Questions Here discussion board, where I will respond to the discussion board and then everyone can see the answers. Again, you would not want to post private questions here. This would be, again, questions that would be appropriate for the whole class to be aware of. I've also posted my office hours, and if you are wanting to meet with me via Zoom, you would want to use the Zoom link that you see here, or that's on the syllabus or in the orientation module. It's all the same Zoom link. I just have it posted multiple places for you so you can easily find it. To draw your attention to it, I hold office hours on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 until 12 in the morning. And these are Zoom drop-in hours where you can just drop in at any time during that period using the Zoom link to ask a quick question or to say hello or anything you'd like to do. I will generally be here from that time available to talk to you. If I'm not going to be available, I will let you know. And with that said, sometimes a student might be ahead of you, and so you might have to wait in the waiting room for a moment, but generally I'll get you in pretty quickly. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I'm available from 1 to 3 for office hours. Generally, this is held through email or telephone correspondence. That said, if you'd like to meet via Zoom, that's possible. You just have to let me know. I'm just simply not sitting on Zoom for drop-in hours during this time period, but it doesn't mean that I'm not available or couldn't be available during that time period. All right, let's have a quick look at the modules. So this course uses modules, and you will notice that the week 1 orientation module shows that you are required to complete all items, and you can see these little check boxes. That means that you have something that you're required to do. So what happens here is you start with the first page and you will read everything on that page, watch the videos, and then click next. Once you click next, you will gain access to the next page, and you're able to go through each of the different pages. Once you do, if we go back to the modules, you'll see that you now have access to more of the pages. In order to gain access to assignments, you do have to move through the pages in order. So you wouldn't be able to take the orientation quiz until you've read each of these pages. You won't be able to do the introduction assignment until you've completed the orientation quiz. Additionally, you won't be able to move on to the week 2 module until you've completed the week 1 module. However, it's important to note that modules unlock the Thursday before that week. So week 2 module will open this Thursday. The week 3 module will open the Thursday during week 2. This is to give you a little bit of extra time so that if you know you have something planned and you need to work a little bit ahead, you are able to work a little bit ahead. Something else worth noting is that generally you will have 1 assignment due per week. This week is a little bit of an anomaly because we have introductions and the orientation quiz. That said, Moving forward, you will generally have one assignment, and it's always, just about always, going to be due on Sunday night. So at the very end of that week at 11:59 p.m. That said, just because there's one assignment does not mean that you shouldn't anticipate spending a lot of time working on that assignment. This is a 3 credit hour course, which means the general rule of thumb is that you will spend 6 to 9 hours per week. So we generally say if you have a 3 credit hour course, you should expect to spend 2 to 3 times how many ever credit hours you're earning. So that equates to 6 to 9 hours. Many weeks you will spend less than 6 hours. Occasionally you might spend more than 9, but that would probably be pretty rare. The general idea is that if you averaged the time you spent every single week, it would fall in that 6 to 9 hour range. I wanted you to be aware of this information because sometimes students don't really understand what's expected of them in college courses. So I wanted to make sure that that expectation was in place. The other part of the course that I wanted to bring your attention to is the syllabus tab, which includes all of our syllabus information. There's lots of good information here, lots of links. For example, the Valencia Reader, which we'll be using as part of our textbook for the course, links to distance tutoring, the Ask a Librarian service, all of those sorts of things are here. Important dates are here. So I really strongly encourage you to look at this closely. Additionally, I encourage you to keep an eye on announcements. Usually I will post announcements once per week so that you are aware of what's going to be due that week and kind of what those assignments entail. And then the final thing I want to show you here is the grade book. So you'll be able to see that you can calculate your grades. The gradebook even has a what if feature that you're able to use when you are going through your gradebook. So that can be helpful. I will post grades generally weekly. So if you have grades due at the end of week 1, by midweek 2, generally those assignments are graded and back to you. The last thing I'd like to bring your attention to, and I need to leave student view for that, is to take you to how to set up notifications. So if you go to the account button on the main menu to the left, to the far left, and go to notifications, I strongly encourage you to set up your notifications so that you are receiving notifications for things that might be important to you. So if I were a student, I would probably make sure that I'm getting due date reminders, probably push notifications on my phone, maybe email notifications, depending on how you use your technology and devices. Announcements, I would certainly have notifications on for, because you don't want to miss an announcement. If I change a due date or I remind you that something's due, having those announcements on is important. You might want to include announcements to have it on for grading, for submission comments. Lots of times I will leave submission comments that include feedback for you. If you have on your notifications, you're likely or not to miss that comment. And so if sometimes I'll even ask you to resubmit something, maybe the file you submitted isn't working properly. So having that notification icon on is important. It's worth noting there's a lot of different options here, and you can basically choose what makes sense for you to have notifications on or off for. That said, I want to encourage you to make sure that you're keeping a close eye on your Canvas inbox and announcements. And if at any point you have questions for me, please do not hesitate to reach out to me.